are back with another video. It is currently 10:30, and this is going to be a good one. This video is going to be from Bob Invest, and this is going to be talking about the time tax, the hidden hours, and how your lifestyle upgrade is actually stealing your life. I have not heard of anything put in this context, but I'm curious to see what exactly that means. So without further ado, sit back and let's enjoy this reaction, y'all. Let's get to this video.
Years ago, Derek got the promotion he had been working toward for half a decade, senior software architect. His salary jumped from $92,000 to $128,000, a 39% raise that felt like winning the lottery. He remembers the exact moment his manager told him, sitting in a glass conference room on the 14th floor, thinking, this is it. This is when everything changes. He was finally going to feel comfortable. He was finally going to save real money. He was finally going to stop living paycheck to paycheck like he had been since college. That was 3 years ago. Today, Derek makes $141,000, another raise on top of the promotion. He has increased his income by 53% in 36 months. And somehow, impossibly, he has less money in his savings account than he did before the promotion. He checks his balance more anxiously now than when he was making $92,000. He feels more financially stressed, not less. He works the same hours, earns dramatically more, and yet the hamster wheel spins faster than ever. Derek does not have a spending problem in the way most people think about spending problems. He does not buy luxury watches or lease sports cars. He just upgraded. A nicer apartment in a better neighborhood, $800 more per month. A new car to match the new title, $350 more per month. A gym membership at the fancy place near his office, $160 per month instead of the $30 Planet Fitness.
Listen, if you're making that much money at your job, they ought to have a gym at the facility. Like, why are you paying for a separate gym membership? If they paying you a bag like that, they should have a state-of-the-art gym. What we doing?
He used to use. Better restaurants, better clothes, better everything. Small upgrades that felt earned, felt appropriate, felt like the natural reward for working hard and advancing. Each upgrade made sense in isolation. Together, they consumed every dollar of his $50,000 raise and then some. Derek did not get richer, he got more expensive. And the cruelest part is that he now needs his higher salary just to maintain a lifestyle that does not make him any happier than his old one did. He is trapped at an income level he cannot afford to lose, working to pay for a life he upgraded into without ever consciously choosing it. My name is Bobby, and I spend way too much time thinking about why earning more money almost never translates into having more money. If you have gotten raises over the years but feel no more financially secure, if you look at your income and your savings and cannot reconcile how those two numbers exist in the same reality, make sure to hit that subscribe button. What I'm about to show you is a calculation that most people never do, a way to measure exactly how much of your life you are trading to maintain lifestyle upgrades you barely notice anymore. I call it your lifestyle inflation hourly rate, and once you see it, you will never look at treating yourself the same way again.
Damn.
Here is the fundamental problem with how we think about raises and lifestyle upgrades. We measure income in annual salary, but experience spending in monthly payments. This mismatch is not accidental. It's the core mechanism that allows lifestyle inflation to consume every raise before you feel the benefit. When Derek got his $36,000 raise, that number felt massive and transformational. But when he upgraded his apartment for an extra $800 a month, that felt small and manageable. $800 a month, that's nothing on a $128,000 salary. Except $800 a month is $9,600 a year. His $36,000 raise just became a $26,400 raise with a single decision. But it gets worse because we need to calculate what that $800 actually costs in hours of Derek's life. Derek works about 2,080 hours per year, the standard 40 hours per week for 52 weeks. His gross salary of $128,000 means he earns about $61.50 per hour before taxes. after federal taxes, state taxes, and payroll taxes, his effective take-home is closer to $42 per hour.
Man, I just did my taxes, and man, when I seen what they took, I was like, yo, this is highway robbery. What's going on here? And it's like, you can't do nothing about it. Like, you just got to eat it. Like, all right, man, we got to pay taxes.
That $800 apartment upgrade costs him 19.5 hours of after-tax work every single month, 228 hours per year. That's almost 6 full work weeks per year, not to build wealth, not to save for retirement, not to create options and freedom, but simply to maintain a nicer apartment that he barely spends waking hours in because he's always at work.
Right.
Derek is not paying $800 a month for his apartment upgrade. He is paying 228 hours per year of his life. Every upgrade has a conversion rate like this, and almost nobody calculates it before they commit. The gym membership is not $160. It's 3.8 hours of monthly labor, 45 hours per year to access a fancier treadmill. The car is not $350 more per month. It's 8.3 hours monthly, 100 hours annually to drive a vehicle that gets him to the same places his old car did. When you add up all of Derek's lifestyle upgrades and convert them to hours, he's working approximately 480 extra hours per year compared to his pre-promotion lifestyle. That's 12 full work weeks, 3 months of his labor every single year, going exclusively toward maintaining upgrades that felt small when he made them. This is where it gets really interesting, because the lifestyle inflation hourly rate reveals something that gross income and net worth calculations hide: the true exchange rate between your life and your lifestyle. Let me give you the formula so you can calculate your own. Take every lifestyle upgrade you have made over the past few years, every subscription you added, every apartment upgrade, every car payment increase, every category where you now spend more than you used to, and add up the total monthly cost. Multiply that by 12 to get your annual lifestyle inflation. Then divide it by your actual after-tax hourly wage. The result is your lifestyle inflation hourly rate, the number of hours per year you work exclusively to fund upgrades you have made beyond your baseline needs. For Derek, the monthly lifestyle inflation total is approximately $1,700. The apartment, car, gym, dining, subscriptions, clothing, and various small upgrades.
What's so tripped out about all of this is that, like, this is what they say you're supposed to do. You're supposed to enjoy this life that you're living because you only got one life to live. And so naturally you start making that much more money, you're going to want to say you experience that. Like, who wants to keep living in a ran down apartment? You know what I'm saying? Where you got to deal with noise of people above you or your neighbors making noise or whatever. Appliances not working, the maintenance man taking their time coming to fix problems. Who wants to continue to live in that? Like, they'll tell you, oh, you can't live above your means. But why though? You know what I'm saying? It's just weird to me. It's weird.
Annual lifestyle inflation is $20,400. Divided by his $42 after-tax hourly rate, his lifestyle inflation hourly rate is 486 hours per year. But here's what most people don't realize. You need to earn significantly more than $1 to have $1 to spend, because taxes take their cut first. That $20,400 in lifestyle inflation requires Derek to earn approximately $31,000 in gross income just to pay for it after taxes. His 53% raise over 3 years was about $49,000 annually. Lifestyle inflation consumed 63% of it. The remaining 37% is split between slightly higher taxes on the higher income and whatever's left over for actual wealth building, which in Derek's case is almost nothing. This is the lifestyle creep multiplier in action. Every dollar of lifestyle inflation costs more than a dollar of income because you have to earn the gross amount required to produce the net amount required to fund the lifestyle. At
Right.
Derek's marginal tax rate, he needs to earn about $1.52 for every dollar of lifestyle he adds. His $1,700 monthly lifestyle inflation requires $2,580 in gross monthly earnings to support. That's not just hours of work, that's hours of pre-tax work, which means even more life traded for the same outcome.
Let me show you how this compounds over a career, because the numbers become genuinely disturbing when you extend the timeline. Take someone who starts their career at 25, making $50,000, living on a baseline lifestyle that costs $36,000 per year after taxes. They save and invest about $8,000 per year, a reasonable, responsible amount. Now imagine they get 3% annual raises for 40 years, which is roughly in line with historical wage growth. By 65, they are making $163,000 in nominal terms.
And you got about 15 more years of life left to live. That's provided you don't have no freak accident or something like that. So what exactly are you going to be doing when you're making this much money? Like, it doesn't make sense. It's almost like saying that you got to spend the younger part of your life hustling and struggling basically before you can actually enjoy your life. But then by then, all your youth is gone. So what exactly are you really going to be doing? You about at 65, and this is not to say that people that are a lot older don't have that get up and go, but that's not going to be everybody's situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may end up, being disabled or something like that. You know what I mean? And so anything could happen. And then now it's like, you don't waste it, not waste it, but most of your life is gone basically.
If they had held their lifestyle constant, adjusting only for inflation, their baseline spending would have grown to about $73,000, and they would be saving nearly $50,000 per year by the end of their career. Their total accumulated wealth from those 40 years of investing, assuming 7% real returns, would be approximately $3.8 million.
And at that age, what are you going to do with that money? You don't have enough life left to live to blow through that much money. You're going to end up just giving it right back. It's all a Ponzi scheme in the grand scheme of it. You know what I mean?
That is the uninflated path. Now consider the inflated path, the one most people actually take. Every time they get a raise, they upgrade their lifestyle by about half the raise. The nicer apartment when they hit $60,000, the better car when they hit $75,000, the premium gym and the meal delivery and the upgraded vacations as the income rises. By 65, their lifestyle spending has grown to $126,000 per year instead of $73,000.
So basically what they're saying is, unless you have a multi-billion-dollar business by the time you get to 65, when you get to 65 years old, it's safe to say that you are pretty much on your way out of the workforce. Or if not completely out of the workforce, you're not going to be making what you were making when you were a lot younger. About a third of that income is going to come down because the company's like, you're a lot older now. And we have, these younger adults that, we want to pay those high salaries to. So basically, if you're somebody that's working in corporate right now, you got to pretty much continue to invest in the market, invest in stocks and things like that. And hopefully, if things go the way they're supposed to in 40 more years, when you're 60 something years old, in my case, I'll hit my 60s in less than 20 years. You'll have made enough money to take care of yourself. Crazy.
An extra $53,000 annually in lifestyle inflation. Their savings rate never meaningfully increased, despite their income nearly tripling. Their accumulated wealth is approximately $900,000, less than a quarter of what the uninflated version achieved. The difference is $2.9 million. That is what lifestyle inflation costs over a career. Not a few nice dinners, not some comfortable upgrades. $2.9 million and the decade of additional work required to compensate for the wealth that was never built. Every hour of lifestyle inflation hourly rate that you pay in your 20s and 30s multiplies forward across decades of compounding you will never recapture. Derek is not just trading 486 hours per year for his current lifestyle. He's trading the compounded future value of those hours, the investments never made, the freedom never purchased, the options never created. The math is relentless.
Basically, what this is suggesting is that you got to basically live in a rat trap until you become an old man or a woman, and then you can enjoy life. That's crazy as hell. And see, a lot of young adults, they're not abiding by this philosophy anymore. They want to get their money now. They want to live their life now. And rightfully so. I understand both sides. I get it. It's like, yo, I'm young. I'm energetic. I got all this energy. I got this get up and go about me. I want to be able to say, yo, I did this when I was young, when I had a lot of life left in me. You know, when you 60 and stuff like that, not to say that you can't have any life left in you. You most certainly can, but you're set in your ways a lot of times. So if, you know, you hadn't been one to, like, if you didn't really grow up in a lot of this stuff with technology and things like that, you're not really going to be too pressed to be doing what you see a lot of young people doing. This isn't to say that some people don't do it that are older, but like I said, they be set in their ways a lot of times, you know?
Now, you might be thinking that lifestyle upgrades are the whole point, that you work hard so you can enjoy your life. And what is the purpose of earning more if you cannot live better?
Exactly.
And I am not here to tell you that you should never upgrade anything or that all spending on comfort is waste. The question is not whether to upgrade your lifestyle. The question is whether you are doing it consciously, with full awareness of the exchange rate, or whether you are sleepwalking into commitments that will trap you at income levels you cannot afford to leave. The problem with Derek is not that he upgraded his apartment. The problem is that he did it automatically, without calculating the lifestyle inflation hourly rate, without understanding that he was committing 228 hours of his life to that decision for as long as he lives there.
Well, here's the beautiful part about Derek's situation, I would say, is that he moved into an apartment. So this isn't a lifelong commitment. He could always say, you know what, I can go live in this apartment, you know, see what that lifestyle is like and just get it out of his system. You know what I mean? And then he can always downsize back to an apartment that's a lot cheaper. That's the luxury of living in an apartment compared to a house where that's a 30-year commitment. You can't just walk away from that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot involved. It's a lot, you know, closing costs, capital gains, tax, a whole bunch of stuff. You know, the way the market is, you got to watch the market, see if it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. It's a lot with that. But if you're in an apartment, yo, he could just go back to a cheaper apartment. That's the beauty in this situation.
He experienced the upgrade as a one-time choice. He is paying for it as an ongoing extraction of his time and freedom. The psychological mechanism behind this is what behavioral economists call hedonic adaptation, the documented tendency for humans to return to a baseline level of satisfaction, regardless of changes in circumstances. Derek was excited about his new apartment for approximately 3 months. After that, it became his normal. The upgraded feeling disappeared, but the $800 monthly payment remained. He is now paying 228 hours per year to maintain a neutral emotional baseline that he also had in his old apartment. This is the cruelest part of lifestyle inflation. The pleasure is temporary, but the cost is permanent. Every upgrade...
Not in this situation. I get what the video's trying to express, but Derek could always just go back to a cheaper apartment. He's not trapped there. He can just do it for a year or whatever, sign a 1-year lease at the apartment, you know, get that out of his system, get the experience, all of that. And then he can find something cheaper that's not necessarily a hole in the wall, but a lot cheaper than where he's at. And, you know, that will allow him to recalibrate his finances. But a house, no, you can't do that. Now, the car situation is different. Like, I don't know if I would be doing no car note. I might lease a vehicle, like lease, and then I could turn it back in. You know what I mean?
It adds to your fixed monthly burden, and after the initial glow fades, you're left working the same hours for the same emotional state you had before, just at a higher expense level. Your life gets more expensive without getting meaningfully better. The hedonic treadmill and the financial treadmill merge into a single machine that converts your raises into obligations faster than you can perceive it happening. Here's how to reclaim your time by calculating and deliberately reducing your lifestyle inflation hourly rate. The first step is awareness, actually running the calculation I described and confronting the number of hours you currently work to maintain upgrades above your baseline lifestyle. Most people have never translated their monthly subscriptions and upgraded apartments and nicer car payments into actual hours of their lives. When you see that your streaming services, gym, car upgrade, apartment upgrade, dining habits, and various subscriptions total $900 a month, 257 hours per year at a $35 after-tax wage, the abstract becomes visceral. You are not paying $900, you are paying 6.5 work weeks of your life every year for things that no longer even register as special because you have already adapted to them. The second step is the reverse calculation, taking each lifestyle expense and asking whether you would work the required hours specifically for that item. Would you work 45 hours this year specifically to access the fancy gym, or would you take those 45 hours back and use the basic gym? Would you work 100 hours this year specifically to drive the nicer car?
Why my man put that rinky-dink ass gym up there like that's supposed to be? So you get in there and the equipment is broken, got a sign on it. Some machines that you want to use aren't there. You might as well just have an at-home gym for that matter. Yeah, why don't we do that? Just have a gym in your crib. Just have all the equipment, dumbbells, everything you need.
Or would you reclaim those 100 hours and drive the cheaper one? When you pose the question as a direct trade, your hours for this specific thing, the answer often becomes obvious in a way it never was when the expense was just a line item on your credit card statement. The third step is selective downgrading, which is psychologically difficult but mathematically powerful. Every $100 in monthly lifestyle inflation you eliminate at a $35 hourly rate gives you
All right, I know I keep pausing the video. You know what? I'm going to let it play and then I'm going to say what I got to say.
34 hours per year back. Downgrade from the $160 gym to the $30 gym and reclaim 44 hours. Move to an apartment, $300 less per month, and reclaim 103 hours. Trade the car for something with a $200 lower payment and reclaim 69 hours. These are not small numbers. They are weeks of your life that you can redirect from maintaining a lifestyle you have already adapted to toward building wealth, buying freedom, or simply working less. The fourth step is the most important, creating a gap between your income and your lifestyle that you protect intentionally rather than allowing to close automatically. This is what differentiates people who build wealth from people who just earn well. When you get a raise, the default path is to upgrade. The deliberate path is to calculate your lifestyle inflation hourly rate, refuse to let it increase, and redirect the additional income toward investments that will eventually replace your need to work entirely. If you get a $10,000 raise and hold your lifestyle constant, that $10,000 becomes approximately $6,500 after taxes, which invested at 8% for 20 years becomes approximately $32,000. That is what 1 year of resisting lifestyle inflation produces. Do it for 10 years, and you're looking at $300,000 in additional wealth. Do it for a career, and you have the financial independence to work because you want to, not because your lifestyle requires it. Right now, you probably see yourself as someone who has earned their lifestyle, someone who works hard, advances their career, and deserves to enjoy the rewards of that effort through the small upgrades that make life comfortable. That narrative feels true because it maps onto everything you've been told about the relationship between work and reward. But there's another way to see it. Every upgrade you make without calculating the hours is a decision made in the dark. Every subscription you add, every apartment you upsize, every car you finance is a commitment of future hours.
So then my question would be, who are these things for? Because in the same breath, they'll tell you that you need to invest in the Magnificent Seven, that being like your Netflix, Microsoft, Nvidia, Meta, who else? Tesla, It's like 7 different companies on the S&P 500 that you need to invest in. Well, the only way that investment would make sense is if there's people that are paying for these products. But at the same time, we'll tell people that they don't need to go through that whole lifestyle creep. Like, which one is it going to be?
Hours that you are making without understanding the exchange rate. You are not earning your lifestyle. You are trading your life for your lifestyle, hour by hour, week by week, year by year. And the trade is almost never as good as it seems when you're signing the lease or swiping the card. Derek didn't get promoted into prosperity. He got promoted into a more expensive trap. His lifestyle inflation hourly rate grew faster than his income, which means despite earning more, he has less. Less savings, less freedom, less ability to walk away, less optionality in a world where optionality is the only real security. The question is not how much you earn. The question is how many hours of your life you are trading for things you no longer even notice. Calculate your lifestyle inflation hourly rate, see the number, and then decide consciously whether the trade is worth it or whether you would rather have your hours back. I've spent way too much time thinking about this stuff, so you don't have to. If this changed how you see your lifestyle upgrades, hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.
All right, y'all. So that's the end of the video. I wanted to wait till it was over to get my last thoughts. So basically what this is suggesting is that in order for you to play this game, you have to lowball yourself so that when you're old and you have more behind you than in front of you, you'll come out on top and have all of this money. So that's the game, basically. You have to lowball yourself and make more money, but to invest it for when you're older. And again, I'm not knocking that or anything like that, but it just seems to me that you have to basically get rich. Get rich, get wealthy. You know what I'm saying? Where you not only got money that you can put away for when you're old, but then you also got money to play with while you're still kind of young and can do things. You feel me? Like, that's what I took away from this, but it was still a good video. I mean, you can definitely apply these principles if you are someone that does work in the corporate space and you don't really want to deal with the hassle and headache of, oh, I got to start a business or I got to have a side hustle. If you are making upwards of $100,000, $150,000 at a job right now in 2026, then absolutely, you know what I'm saying? You know, do a little things for yourself here and there, but yeah, invest that money, you know, put it in your portfolio, invest in the S&P 500 and let it compound over 40 years. And you should be a millionaire by then in that many amount of years. And then you can retire and just live off of the interest from the money that you have in a high yield savings account. So, yeah. Y'all get down in the comments. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that and your whole thought process when it comes to just like saving money and just not going through that whole lifestyle creep. You know what I mean? But like, sub to the channel. It's Robbie, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. All right.